Today on the podcast, we are talking about a really interesting innovation in AI. And of course, before the whole AI wave came on, the big thing before that was kind of like this AR, VR thing. And so mixed with that and mixed with AI, mixed with what's coming next, I think this new company, Hiber, is a really interesting play. It's actually, Hiber. And essentially, they're kind of revolutionizing 3D world creation with generative AI integrations. So they're allowing you to create 3D worlds for your VR, for your game, for whatever you're working on. They're letting you create 3D worlds, and you're doing it all with AI. So let's talk about the implications, why we think this is important, and who is backing this company, where we see them going in the future. Let's dive into it. Welcome to the AI Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. So based in San Francisco, California, Hiber has announced a groundbreaking upgrade to its 3D world creation tools. They're essentially a platform where you're able to do that, but now they're integrating generative AI to simplify the process of building immersive worlds. So this announcement came during the Google Cloud Next event in San Francisco, and they were showcasing a partnership between Hiber, Datonix, and Google Cloud. So let's talk a little bit about natural language prompts and how they're using these to enhance crafting. So the upgrade allows creators to use natural language prompts to craft 3D worlds more effortlessly. Hiber's generative AI takes user inputs and converts it into tangible, complex worlds. This is part of the company's ongoing mission to make 3D web participation more accessible to the public. I see a ton of different implications for especially video games, and then of course everything that's happening in VR and AR, being able to create really interesting experiences there as well. I think that they're definitely going in the right direction. And I actually saw a really cool demo of this where essentially in the demo there's like a little box kind of like ChatGPT where they were typing in and asking it to create them, a space station surrounded by planets, stars, and spaceships. You just say that, and then all of a sudden it creates this entire 3D generated asset, which is absolutely amazing. Honestly, I've in the past worked on VR apps before, and trying to find the assets, like the worlds essentially, to use in those, it's expensive to get them made. They're hard to find good ones, you don't get anything custom. This is really cool that you could do this. I wish this existed back when I was working on one product in particular, but very, very cool. In any case, so they put that prompt in, and then boom, it creates this 3D world where it's like a person on this giant weird spaceship thing surrounded by stars, all the stuff they wanted. Another one that they said was, a lava world with fire, smoke, and monsters, and boom, it created this lava world with fire, smoke, and monsters. There's a person there that can run around it. So very cool. The final, or another one that they did, I believe they said, they typed in something like a sunny day, sand, banks, water, and marine life, and they kind of some got put into that. There's water all around, sandy banks, a person there. Then the most impressive, though, I think, is the feature where you can actually, once you create the world, you can use the AI to then edit the world. This is so much easier than having to try to figure out how to use a bunch of different software tools to build this, but essentially they asked it for, a world and to build a castle in it. So it pops up a castle, and it's like, do you want anything else? They say make the castle taller, so then the castle tower just gets taller. Then they say make it bigger, so it gets bigger. Then they say put buildings around it, so they put buildings around it. They say give it a wall, they gave it a wall. They say add fire, now there's fire on all the pillars of the wall. They say add a guard tower. All of a sudden the tower in the middle of the castle has lasers shooting out of it, and then it like shoots the person and the person dies, whatever. It's like really, really interesting that you can like live tweak, edit with AI on this thing. It's a no-brainer. Like, I think this is where software is going. You're not going to have to learn all the settings, where to get all the assets, how to slide and drag and resize and move. It's just going to be a little prompt box where you just like tell it what to do. You're going to ask it to how you want to adapt or adjust your software, your workflow, whatever you're working on, and it's going to do it. So very, very cool. I think what's interesting to know here is that Michael Yongfor, who's the CEO of Hiber, said in an interview, quote, "It's a pretty major milestone for us to use as a company. We've always aimed to make AI, or to make 3D world creation as simple, accessible, and fun for as many people as possible." So they were actually founded back in Gothenburg, Sweden, and Hiber's pre-existing creator tool, the Hiber 3D Development Kit, is a consumer-friendly, no-code tool that led to the creation of over 5 million 3D worlds on its user-generated creator or content hub, which is Hiber World. So the company was inspired by futuristic works like Ray Kurzweil's The Singularity is Near, and it kind of aims to exploit rapidly advancing AI for creative self-expression. So Hiber's 3D engine supports a range of devices, web browsers, and offers a host of services to creators, including multiplayer capabilities, chat functionalities, and payment options, right? So you're actually able to create worlds people will come into. The integration of generative AI, I think, now really adds a new dimension to these services. It's evolving Hiber into, a living creation platform, according to Yongfor's. So let's talk a little bit about collaboration and cost efficiency. The company leverages Google Cloud services and newly developed AI algorithms to keep the cost of high computing power for generative AI manageable. And this has been facilitated by the company's collaboration with Datonics and Google Cloud using Hiber's extensive 3D world creation data. But when questioned about the quality of user experience and the cost, Sean Kepian, who's the chief strategy officer at Hiber, mentioned that they're not planning to impose limits. Hiber aims to develop a sustainable business model, currently working with its own 3D assets. So the company's long-term roadmap includes an AI co-pilot to offer live suggestions and facilitate the creation process further. And so I think this feature is not only going to generate content on, like when you prompt it, but also provide informed recommendations to enhance user experience. And I think this is really useful, like with any software. Like, so often the customer or the user doesn't even know like what they should be asking, what they can do. They don't know all the capabilities. And so I think having like, beyond just being able to use AI to like do the creation, being able to have an AI that's giving you smart recommendations makes a huge difference, right? Like, if I didn't know I could make the castle bigger in my world, I wouldn't even ask. But if it's like, hey, you should probably try this, or have you thought about like adding a dragon flying around? And I'm like, oh my gosh, didn't know I could do that, right? So it's an example that's relevant to this, but it's the exact same thing with email software, workflow software, or productivity software. Like, so often I don't even know all the like Notion, man. Notion is crazy. I don't know all the capabilities of Notion. And if Notion could just recommend things that I should be doing, I'm sure that'd be great. So Hiber has already attracted, I think, the attention of luxury brands like Tommy Hilfiger, which has chosen Hiber 3D to create an virtual universe for its community. I think this is probably more during like the whole NFT, Web3, VR kind of hype phase. Maybe it's going to all come back with like Apple's headset. We'll see. But Facebook dumping $10 billion or whatever they were into their metaverse, meta worlds thing that doesn't seem to have materialized to such a super high level. I'm sure people will all be triggered by that. If you work in this space, I hope it works great. I have a lot of friends working in this space. I'm just personally, I see AI and implications for like workspace software as having like, I don't know, some bigger implications that are more practical at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be cool, I'm sure, whenever we're all in the 3D world in our VR headsets. In any case, that's when I'm assuming Tommy Hilfiger jumped in on this, because it obviously has nothing to do with their business, and I see very little reason why it would help them sell more pants. But anyways, Hiber World has hosted this experience, recording over 1.2 million digital wearables spawned by visitors within the first month. Voila, digital wearables, whatever. Okay. They were actually founded back in 2012. Hiber has raised $20 million to date. They have 35 employees, and they're backed by investors including ETQ Ventures, Luminar Ventures, and Cybo. So the company plans to generate revenue through 3D shops and enabling players to purchase avatars and other virtual goods. They said, quote, "The metaverse has become a hype cycle, and it's really changing how things are going to be done." That was Kupian, who is kind of underlying the contemporary relevance and future potential of Hiber's new offering. But I think with the new upgrade, Hiber is not just expanding the scope for creators, but also setting a precedent for the future of 3D worlds and, the whole metaverse thing. So it's going to be interesting. I'm happy if someone proves me wrong on this, that it's more than just hype, but it'll be interesting and definitely something I will follow and continue looking at in the future.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast, where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.